I want you to imagine this. You're standing on the porch on the house that you'd love to buy as an investment, and you reach up and you knock on that door, and you can hear the footsteps of the person who is coming to sell you their house. Your heart is literally beating through your neck. You're sweating. You can feel the perspiration running down your back. You can hear them. They're getting closer to the door. You hear click. You see the door start to turn. The door opens, and I'm Peyton Fisher, and on this channel we talk all things real estate and investing. I am a licensed real estate agent and general contractor here in the state of Utah. Let's get into it. Now, I want to start out by saying there is always a way to invest with no money. If you're willing to do the work and find the deal, you can make this happen. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how to get the real estate knowledge of your area. If you don't know how much properties are going for, whether residential or commercial, you cannot put a deal together. Here is 2 ways to start gaining knowledge. First, reach out to a local real estate agent who can give you access to the multiple listing service, also known as the MLS, and be open with the agent and tell them that you're working on getting your first deal in real estate and that you're willing to do whatever it takes to make this happen. There's always an agent that is willing to see your determination to make a deal happen, and they'll guide you on your search to find a home. The second place you can start doing research is Zillow or another real estate website to start seeing what is coming on the market and getting sold. Now that you've started doing your research, I want you to start tracking 3 things. First is the price of the property when it's listed and it's sold. Now, there's a lot of factors that go into this. If you keep having properties selling for more than what is asked, you know you're going to have to offer more than what the house is asking to get the deal. However, if you keep seeing deals go lower than the asking price, you might be able to get a better deal than what is being offered. Number 2, the price of rent. Call and talk to a property management company and ask them how much the rent is going for in this specific area, or if they're renting out a specific house you want to know, ask them how much the rent is for. Truthfully, a property management company can be a gold of information when you're first starting out and getting ideas of how much you might be able to get for rent on a certain property. And number 3 is these are the conditions of the neighborhoods where the property is listed or where the commercial real estate is listed. I do it like this. A is high end, B is middle class, C is rougher areas. You've got to remember different investors will want to invest in different neighborhoods and areas. So you need to pinpoint what and where you feel comfortable with to make your first deal happen. Once you have spent a decent amount of time learning and you are starting to feel comfortable in the areas that you're looking for, the price point that you want to invest in, and starting to understand the financial options out there, now the next step will be to start reaching out to the flippers or the investors who are making the deals in your area. One of the easiest ways to do this is to get in your car or jump on your bike and drive for dollars. And you're going to drive through neighborhoods and you're going to find a house with a dumpster out front. You can see that there is obviously a remodel happening. You're going to get out of your car, off your bike, and walk up to that door, if it's still on there, and you're going to introduce yourself to whoever's working. And you're going to find out whether it's a general contractor, a subcontractor, or best yet, if it is the actual investor. Now, I would recommend that you tell them, hey, I am wanting to find my first deal. I'm really excited about real estate, and I want to make something happen. And I would urge you to volunteer to help the general contractor and tell them that you're willing to do whatever it takes to learn more about flipping, about investing. Truthfully, I think the best way to learn how to invest in real estate is to get your hands dirty on a few flips. Now just remember, if you tell somebody that you're willing to do something, clean up trash, or organize for the next day, be ready to do it. The worst thing you can do is talk to an investor, tell them that you're going to help them out, volunteer for them for a day or a half a day, and then don't show up or don't do it. You'll kill the relationship immediately. So if the investor really likes you, then they may be even more interested in helping you find a deal. Always remember to go into a situation with the intent to help as much as possible, and everyone will want to help you. You're working with an investor or a general contractor, you're building your skills, and you're starting to learn the lingo of how a building project goes. If you try to buy any flip house with no construction knowledge, you're going to have a huge chance of literally losing your shorts. And so I recently just had a situation where I put a bid on a project and I said, hey, we're going to take out this whole wall for one of my clients. And they said I had an engineer, or they said I had general contractors come out and tell me that these walls aren't load bearing. Well, thankfully I cushioned in enough in my bid to tell them if there is something wrong with this wall, we'll still be able to take care of it. What had happened is, as soon as I started taking out, I got an uneasy feeling. I called an engineer. He came out and said, hey, I'm really glad you called me. This whole wall is actually a load-bearing wall. And I literally almost had the entire wall pulled out. So thankfully I was able to brace it back up. We ended up spending almost $1,500 just for the beam to be pulled out. We didn't know there was HVAC coming through the wall. That cost $8,000 for the new HVAC system to be put in, and another almost $1,500 for all the new wiring to be pulled out. So you need to have a good understanding of the construction process, or you could seriously lose out some money really, really fast. Now, if you're lucky and you have a general contractor as a friend or a family that can give you a really good idea or help walk you through the steps, that's awesome. Most of us don't have that. So if this is going to be your first deal, I would suggest you go and work a little bit in the real estate world or watch lots of YouTube videos so you have a better understanding of what's going on before you just jump into a project. Here's a pro tip. If you're in a conversation and something goes right over your head, apologize and say, hey, I'm sorry, I don't understand that. Now, this is going to make you suck your pride. However, you're actually going to understand what's going on. And this is a must, because literally one simple mistake is a huge game changer and costs you tens of thousands of dollars. Now that you have prices in your area down, you've been looking at deals all the time, you've got a good knowledge of rent, so you understand how much you can actually make, and you have a better understanding of construction, it's really time to start working on that first deal. Now, this is where it gets hard though. Get ready to hear the words, no, 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 no. And did I say no? I want to share with you my stats when I was cold calling on the phones full time. I had to hear the words no 249 times before I would hear the words yes one time. However, this one time would make me an average of $5,000. Paying for numbers and triple line dialers and all of that can get really expensive really fast. And since you clicked on this video on how to invest with no money, I'll be honest, knocking doors is going to be a much better option to find a deal. Now, here's a few things to consider. If you're a female, get dressed up and look cute. You have a much better chance of talking to a female or a male and getting a lead out of them than a male salesman does any day of the week. Guys, get cleaned up, put on a shirt and tie. I want you to imagine this. You're standing on the porch on the house that you'd love to buy as an investment, and you reach up and you knock on that door, and you can hear the footsteps of the person who is coming to sell you their house. Your heart is literally beating through your neck. You're sweating. You can feel the perspiration running down your back. You can hear them. They're getting closer to the door. You hear click. You see the door start to turn. The door opens and you make eye contact. And you start to say something simple like, hi, my name is Peyton, and I'm looking to buy a house here in your area. Have you ever thought about selling your house? And they say the sweet words of, well, yes. Actually, I have been thinking about selling my home. Great, you say. Now at this point, you're going to have enough knowledge about the area and how much homes are selling for that you'd actually have an idea about how much this home should sell for. You ask them, how much would you like to sell your home for? And if they give you a price that you feel comfortable with, then you say, Can I take a quick walk through your house and get an idea of the condition? Never go into a house alone. If you are a woman, men, never go into a house with a single lady. Ever, ever, ever. You have to protect yourself. If they are serious about selling their home, this is a great time to ask if you could have your business partner come back and look at the house with you. Even if you don't have an investor yet, you need to get the deal on the table, and it's much easier to find an investor when you have a deal on the table. Having someone who knows how to negotiate will help you avoid losing money on a bad deal. Such as if you think this is a good deal and an investor comes in, walks through the property and shows you 5 different things why this isn't a good deal, you just learned so much. It's time now to approach that investor and say, hey, if I find you a deal, would you be willing to put the money down? When they say yes, you've got to say, yes, I've got the deal and you need to come look at it. So if the deal is right and you're not greedy, you can get your first deal under the way with no money on the table. Now here's a few ways that you could approach your investor. You could tell your investor that you want a $5,000 or $10,000 upfront finding fee for finding them the deal. Then you step away. Now this is called wholesaling. And this is assuming the deal is worth between $60,000 and $120,000. Or you could say that you want to take your finder's fees, $5,000 to $10,000, and be used as your money that you're going to invest in the property on the flip side of things. So you'd get a 10% of the net proceeds made after the house was flipped, plus your $10,000. Here's a quick scenario. If the house was bought for, let's say, $100,000, and you negotiated that you'd get a $10,000 finder's fee, but you wanted to be part of the project, and at the end of the project, they sold the house for $180,000 after putting $30,000 into it, making a profit of $50,000. So then you would get 10% of that. Your $10,000 turned into $15,000. And if you also helped on the project with the investor and he saw that you were somebody who was trustworthy, he would literally swoop you right up. And you might even be able to take your money and start investing it right along with his money and help him run even more flips, getting you educated while investing. It's one of the best ways you can do. And if the first scenario doesn't work, you could post on Facebook or Craigslist that you have a flip house ready to go and you're looking for investors. There's a lot of investors right now that are hot and ready to make a deal happen. Remember, keep everything in writing. If you don't hand sign it, it's done. It doesn't mean anything. Every state does have its own laws that you need to know about, but in Utah, where I live, only written contracts will hold up in the court of law. No spoken word it won't count as anything. Remember, you don't have to make millions of dollars on your first deal. It's so important to get one deal under your belt so you can work through all of the things that you're going to screw up on. No matter what you do, you are going to screw up. It doesn't matter. At this point, it's going to be much easier to find more investors who are willing to invest in you because now you're going to have traction. Let me know in the comments what questions you have and what you're struggling with. I'm here to help. See ya.